Welcome to Song Album Career. I'm Chris Bragg. With me is David Thurmaier. And today we're going to be talking about a number one hit from 1960, a really good song that's been covered about a zillion times, as per usual on this show. It takes me days and days to listen to all the cover versions. And that song is Save the Last Dance for Me. Dave, this song written by Doc Pomus and Mort Schumann and initially a big hit from the Drifters. What do you think of this song?
I've always been a big fan because I like we've talked about this on our Beatle podcast too, but I like doo-wop and I like
Mm,
vocal group songs from that period. So this is early 60s.
yeah.
The Drifters started earlier than that, but this is a kind of a poignant song and one that is featured a lot on greatest hits of doo-wop or of that period. So
Hmm.
I have liked that song. Although, as we're going to talk about, I think I probably like a different version better. But this is the
Yeah.
original. But I did learn that, and yeah, I know we're going to talk about this, but I don't think I even knew that the Drifters had a very famous lead singer and who sings on this particular song.
The lead vocalist on this track from the Drifters is Ben E. King, of course, of
Right.
Stand By Me and many other great hits. When by the time the song came out, though, he had already left the group. The history of the Drifters, by the way, is nearly impossible to sort out. Just do yourself a favor and just stop by their Wikipedia page and look at the listing of the people that were in the group. It's so insane that it's like June to July 1960. These people, 1959. These people, and then question mark on guitar.
Yeah.
I came across this article. It's from the Financial Times of all places,
Oh, weird.
written by Charles Morris in really about the lyrics that were written by Doc Pomus. Pomus had polio in his youth, and he ended up in a wheelchair. Um, and here, I'll just read from the article. Born Jerome Felder in New York in 1925, he was a larger than life character. He refused to be restricted by others' perception of his disability. Pursuing as a young man the attentions of attractive women and a career as a blues singer, hence the name change to the more bluesy Doc Pomus. Yet behind the romantic charm of Save the Last Dance lies the hidden regret and yearning he felt about his disability, which was encapsulated on one memorable day. The song is about a man telling his sweetheart to enjoy the dancing the night away with other men, so long as she saves the last one for him. It was inspired by Pomus's wedding to the actress Willie Burke in 1957. At the reception, he sat and watched his beautiful bride dance with other men, including Raoul, his brother. So
Huh, wow.
I had no idea that this song, which I've loved for years, came from this very poignant story of a man who was married. He's in a wheelchair, so he can't dance with his bride.
Well, he also must really trust her if he's letting her dance with all these other guys.
Yeah,
But no, it's a nice sentiment, and I think the lyrics touch on that too. When you just at right at the end, don't give your heart to anyone.
hmm,
Don't forget who's taking you home. So you can do all these other things, but remember who really loves you. And I
yeah.
think that's the nice thing, nice sentiment about it. And that extra story detail makes it even more poignant.
So Doc Pomus and the music written by Mort Schumann. They wrote several hits together, including A Teenager in Love, which of course
Yeah,
everybody knows. Turn Me Loose, This Magic Moment. Everybody knows that one.
another Drifter song.
That's right.
Yeah.
And a big one, Viva Las Vegas, one of your
Oh,
favorites, right?
oh, for the King. Oh yeah.
That's right. Let's talk a little bit about the music of it. It's you don't think of it this way, but it's kind of a driving song. It's got this sort of like beat that has this sort of like, I don't know if it's a triangle or something,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
just constantly through there and kind of like driving do kind of like that.
Yeah, it's not a fast song, but it does have a kind of a drive to it. Also, the bass, I think that's an upright bass, so it's got the kind of thumping boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom, boom sound to it. So with that percussion and the bass, it does have a pretty good feel. Then you throw all the voice on top of it, and
yeah.
it's a pretty thick production for the time. And I think I remember reading somewhere that there were rumors that Phil Spector may have been involved or may
Mm,
have had something to do with this. I don't.
mhm.
They said that's not true now, but uh, interesting. I mean, at least it's got that kind of sound. It's kind of thicker sound.
Yeah, including strings. There's
Right, right.
lots of strings on this. The bridge repeats, and the second time of the bridge, it's a strings solo.
Yeah,
Kind of a weird thing. And they pack
pretty
all that.
active too. Like a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
yeah.
And they pack all that in 2 minutes 35 seconds. So it's just a crazy efficient
Yeah.
song to include so much in it. Of course, the a highlight as has to be the Benny King
Oh yeah.
singing, just a terrific lead vocal there. But you also got those background singers
Oh
with
yeah.
the,
Oh yeah.
and it starts with, "Oh, I know,
What?
yes, I know,"
Oh, I know.
that one. And then later it's, "You can dance,
Yep.
you can
You
dance."
can
Yeah.
dance.
And then
Yeah.
I think there's either female background singers
Hmm.
or they're singing really high pitched towards the end. There's this kind of weird thing happening in the kind of outro. So listen for that when you take a listen to the track. Of course, we'll put a link to the track and all the ones we talk uh, about a little more than. I mean, I can't just list. I'm gonna list a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
a lot of them. We can't do that, but I could put every single thing there. But yeah, big hit, big success. Number one in the U.S., number two in the UK.
I think
So
something different about this song too. It's not like a lot of songs from this period. It's not really a bluesy song. It doesn't remind me of being a bluesy song particularly. It's more of a popular song, like American popular song,
yeah,
kind of like another hit. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes was another uh,
yeah,
crossover song. It's more of that kind of generational song. It's not a blues in the same way as like Elvis, a lot of the Don't Be
yes,
Cruel or things like that that were
yeah.
recorded roughly around the same period.
Maybe that's too why it was covered so much, particularly in the 60s,
Yeah.
seemed to be covered a lot. There are instrumental versions of it, but a lot of vocal versions with famous singers in it. So I'll list some
Oh,
of them now.
once again, as Chris is known around the world at this point for
Yeah.
finding and unturning every single cover version
Yeah.
possible here. So
Yeah.
what do we got?
And uh, I listen to almost all of them too.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then we talk about the ones that are actually worth talking about.
Yeah.
So a lot of these are it's not like they're bad. It's just there's nothing to talk about because it's just like it, for instance, Righteous Brothers. It's just the
Mm.
Righteous Brothers singing kind of the same song. So it's like what's there to talk about there? But Righteous Brothers, Dion, Buck Owens, Paul Anka, Tony Sheridan and the Beat Brothers.
Oh really?
Yeah. Sam the
Hmm.
Sham and the Pharaohs, Billy Joe Royal, Cliff Richard, Lawrence Welk, an instrumental version there, Bobby Vinton, always showing up. These lists are Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet.
Oh, how many times have they been in our shows?
But I think the other one from the 60s though to talk about is Ike and Tina Turner.
Hmm.
And that arrangement has that, as you would expect from that era, a huge wall of sound, Phil Spector production on it. It's really like, very much what you'd expect. And I really love the ending of that arrangement. So that's a good one there. There's also a novelty version. Have you heard this
Oh,
one? Called "You're Having the Last Dance with Me" by Billy Fury, and he's twisted
Billy
it.
Fury. You know who
That-
Billy Fury was? I think he was from Liverpool. He was another one of those Brian Epstein groups, or at least he was known by the Beatles because I remember hearing Paul McCartney saying, "Oh, we had all these great names, you know, they're like Johnny Gentle, Billy Fury, you know."
well, his version, it seems like he's gonna steal the girl.
Oh.
So it's like you can you can think you can dance with these other guys, but I'm taking you home.
Mm.
It's almost like the guy the guy in the wheelchair is not singing this version. It's the guy dancing with the girl.
Yeah.
Like
Like
you're
you're
not
not
going
going
home with
back
the
to him.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. So yeah, so all those from the 60s. From the 70s, you got Patti LaBelle, Tony
Mm.
Orlando, your Trini Lopez, your typical
Yeah.
ones there. There's one from Mary Kay Place, who's way better known as an actress.
Hmm.
I thought that one was strange. But as you can see over my shoulder, uh, from the album Pussycats, which is a very great album that I love very much. It's Harry Nilsson, and of course that Pussycats was produced or co-produced by John Lennon. So let's talk about that version. I know you've heard that one.
Oh yeah, many times. This album and this song, particularly, it's a lot of stories of drinking, and Harry Nilsson was and John were partying during the Lost Weekend, and the issue was that John kept wanting more takes of the songs, and so eventually Harry's voice gave out, and I think he popped a vocal cord or had some issue.
Yeah,
So you can hear it because he was afraid that John would not record with him if he said, "Oh, my voice hurts, I can't do it anymore." John would say, "Oh, I'm out of here," which was stupid. I don't think he would have done that, but and you can hear it on this recording. It's first of all, it's much slower,
yeah,
the Nielsen version, and Harry has a real rasp that for some reason it just works so
yeah,
well for me. Better
yeah,
than some of these great singers. I mean, Harry Nilsson was a great singer,
yeah.
but that kind of world weariness works very well. And I'm curious what you think of the arrangement too, because it's that John Lennon Walls and Bridges sound where it's kind of Spectre-like with lots
Yeah,
of strings, counter melodies
yeah.
and reverb. So, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I like it. It's not my favorite track on that album. There's some really terrific ones on that, but it is so slow, and you know what it feels like is it feels like they're about to fall asleep at 3 a.m. and they're doing one more take. That's
Mm,
exactly what it feels like. Like the so it's pretty great
yeah.
for that kind of different, way different feel than the peppiness of the original. A footnote here too is Pussycats was covered in its entirety in arrangements and all in 2006 by a group called the Walkmen, which is great, fantastic group. And that one's worth a
Hmm.
look too. So because or a listen to too, because pretty good. Now a couple more from the 70s to mention. One is Randy Meisner from the Eagles. Of course, Randy
Yeah.
Meisner recently passed away in 2023. Did you get a chance to take a listen to that one?
I did. I liked it. It was very mellow. It sounded like the Eagles, kind of
Yes.
doing the. I almost could wanted to hear one of these nights coming out of it.
Yeah. You wanted,
But
I know what you wanted.
no, I didn't want that. No, Joe Walsh.
You wanted Joe Walsh, your favorite.
No, no.
Ha, ha, ha.
But yeah, it was a nice version. It was pretty faithful, I
Yeah,
thought.
pretty good. And then I think maybe my favorite version from 1978, Emmylou Harris.
Oh yeah.
I can't get enough Emmylou Harris. She's just one of the most amazing vocalists there ever has lived.
Yep.
And just a terrific version, very sweet, very beautiful sounding version. We move on to the 80s, and this is another one of my favorites, which I'm gonna need you to pronounce for me. And this is a top Croatian band who's existed since the 70s and still exists today. Released an album last year.
Wow.
but I cannot pronounce their name. Can you?
Well, I speak Czech. I don't speak Croatian, but
Oh,
I can say at least the title, or it's Tije Godina Tek Prljavo Kazaliste,
that's right.
something like that.
From
Something like that.
1980, but it's a
Yeah.
really kind of cool version. It's like sort of like they're sort of like a tight new age style 80s band
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
it. So I thought that one's pretty cool.
It's
We'll of
good.
course put a link to it and you can pronounce it yourself.
Work on
Um
your Croatian.
yeah, and then a couple more from the 80s. One Dolly Parton, 1983. One Ben E. King covering himself in 1987.
Not great.
So kind of a way worse version
Yeah.
of it. And then Bruce Willis, of course, Bruce Willis has had some health issues recently, and we don't certainly don't want to make fun of Bruce Willis, but Bruce Willis doing a cover of this song in his 1989, his second album,
Ooh.
which I what I'm laughing at is the title of the second album is "If It Don't Kill You, It Just Makes You Stronger," which
Ooh.
to me is
Oh.
almost like my first album sucks so bad. This this one's gonna do it. So,
Awful.
but no, I kind of actually like his first album. So, but
Hmm.
Bruce Willis, we hope he's doing well.
Yeah.
Um, I also sent you this French cover from Carole Laure,
Probably the weirdest one.
Dance Avant de Tombar. And it is, yeah, it's definitely strange. We'll put
Yeah.
a, you can probably see right now some of the video playing. We'll definitely put a link. You're gonna want to watch that full video, guys.
Hmm.
It's a beauty. So from the 90s, we've got the Troggs.
The
The
Trogs.
Troggs in
Wow.
1992. Is that what you want to catch that's one of
Yeah.
the themes of the when we do these cover things is like, do you want Biddy King from 1987
87?
or do you want the Trogs from 1992?
I think not.
Neil Diamond, not a good one
No.
there. Another very good one. A vocalist I can take or leave sometimes, but this particular version very great. Aaron Neville
Oh yeah.
from
Yeah. Kind of, is
19,
it like more soulful version or
yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Be
very
nice.
very nice version 1995. And then of course we can't get enough of Harry Connick Jr. and Michael Bublé.
Of
So,
course.
did you listen to the Bublé? The Michael Bublé version was a hit. It,
Yeah.
like it entered the charts and everything. What do you think of that one?
Well, I kind of got a new respect for Michael Bublé when I revisited on my YouTube algorithm. I saw his when he was on Saturday Night Live, and he was with the Jimmy Fallon era, and he was
Mm-hmm.
doing a Christmas duets album. And it was
Hmm.
absolutely hilarious. And he was a good sport with Justin Bieber, fake Justin Bieber and
Yeah.
Tom York from Radiohead, and
Yeah.
uh, it was very funny. But he's got a very distinctive style, and if you like that kind of hipster jazz kind of
Yeah.
style, it works pretty well, actually.
Yeah. This one was sort of like a salsa dancing kind
Like
of
yeah, I
version.
was gonna say it's got like a Latin
Yeah.
tinge to it.
Yeah. Michael Bublé, by the way, if you there's a hilarious Australian comedy show called Kath and Kim, which if you know, you know. It's a great a great episode with Michael Bublé where they're Kath is sort of dancing with him on stage. Very funny. And then Nancy Sinatra and Lee Hazelwood in 2004.
Ooh,
Once
we'll go
again,
back to
do
your
you want
comment. Yeah.
do you want to catch these guys in 2004?
2004. No,
No.
no.
So a couple other footnotes here. It's said to be the last ever song performed on stage by Leonard Cohen. It was a
Hmm.
part of an encore during his final tour in 2013, and it can be heard on his Live in Dublin album. And then recently, Bruce Springsteen's been playing this a lot,
Oh.
and sometimes inviting some woman up to the stage to dance with him for a slow dance.
Aha. Well, then I guess the question with all of these cover versions over all these decades is what is it about this song that people keep coming back to? And I'm curious to, I mean, it does have some great lyrics to it. You know, I'm just like the sparkling wine, like some very nice evocative images in there. And
Hmm.
is it the sentiment or what do you think? The
Yeah,
tune, the music?
I think it's a sentiment, and I think it goes back to this thing in art when it's something meaningful for the writer,
Uh,
then there's something that universally ends up translating about it. More so than I'm going to try to think of what they want and
hmm
write my song based on that. You know, here's a guy writes this beautiful moving song based on some mixed emotions he had on his wedding day. Because he can't actually dance with his wife,
Right.
you know, and the meaning we take out of it is more like, my girlfriend's dancing with these other guys. I'm a little worried,
hmm
you know. But anyway, cut it. It's not an easy like she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
No.
more of a complicated kind of uh thing happening. That's what's made it universal is the combination of all those things I said.
Yeah, and I would add to it musically, it's also interesting. So it's not just a real simple verse. I mean, you've got the bridge
Mhm.
like we've talked about, and a chance to orchestrate it or to arrange it in different ways. So it kind of got a combination of a good musical palette that you can draw on.
Yeah,
And yet it's still got a very catchy tune and memorable melodies to that
yeah,
everybody knows.
yeah. We probably didn't harp enough on the melody. It's just
Yeah,
a
that part is just yeah.
you know,
Oh, darling.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I didn't really go through a lot of the instrumental versions of this, but you can enjoy an instrumental version
sure.
because the music is great. So,
Yep. Yep.
yeah. So, all right. Well, we did it.
Good to be back.
Another fantastic episode of Song Album Career. We will be back soon, either Dave or me or both of us together on another song or album.